kind of let his trainer fix my posture. He canceled my gym membership and our marriage. If someone had told me a year ago that my gym membership would be the reason my marriage fell apart, I would have laughed. But here I am divorced, ashamed, and completely alone. I truly hoped that everything would change in a single instant, but it wasn't like that. The whole situation developed over time until it transformed into a persistent blaze, which I chose to ignore until no part of my life remained untouched. There were many subtle signals that indicated I should have taken different actions to protect myself and create boundaries, but I didn't. I wanted to pretend the breakdown of my life was unexpected, yet I saw it approaching and allowed it anyway. Although my life was heading towards this moment, I failed to stop it. And worse, I let it happen. It started with something small, something I told myself was innocent. A gym session. Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm 32 years old, and up until a few months ago, I was married to my husband, Adam, for 5 years. And believe me when I say that he was perfect. Or at least, that's what I thought. Most women pursued Adam as their ideal man. His approach to life followed a disciplined pattern which included handling everything efficiently. He earned substantial money which he used to pay all our household expenses while providing us with a comfortable lifestyle. Rent payments together with grocery expenses and car payments remained out of my comprehension. Everything in my life remained worry-free. A plan was always present and his following actions always had a purpose. Adam possessed organization while executing complete leadership over the course of daily life. And on top of that, he was in incredible shape. Adam practiced fitness coaching as his profession, making him one of the rare male types who began their day by running 10 miles as a recreational activity. His existence focused exhaustively on exercise activity, food preparation, and body measurement enhancement. His fitness streak extended beyond normal fitness levels because he had reached a state of complete obsession with the sport. He dedicated his time to both client sessions and self-training when he was not occupied with client coaching. His free time consisted of gym sessions, followed by video studies about exercise techniques, and his meals received precise macro count planning. His dedication was insane. And me? Well, let's just say I was the complete opposite. I had a normal fitness level, yet gym activities never appealed to me. It was my habit to enjoy morning sleep-in followed by cold lattes and TV reality shows. The norm of my morning routine involved sleeping late and phone browsing rather than early morning workout sessions on a treadmill. While I made occasional attempts at eating healthily, I never went beyond assessing my protein consumption or preparing my meals for the coming week. At first, I didn't mind. It was his thing, and I had mine. We had separate interests, and that was okay. I figured that's how relationships worked. You don't have to be exactly alike. He did his thing, I did mine, and we still had fun together. But over time, I started noticing things. The gym served as Adam's life purpose, so it became his all-encompassing identity. The obsession began to infiltrate our marital relationship because of my unsatisfactory stupidity. My husband was a busy man, and I wanted him to give more attention to me than work. At first, it was small. He would give up a planned movie evening because he had to rise early to attend a gym workout session. He requested meals at restaurants with clean diets because he followed his macro trends. He never tried to force anything on me. I sometimes ordered the junkiest stuff I couldn't eat my hands on, but that made me look bad in people's eyes, and it was like I was incompetent and like he was doing me a favor just hanging out with me. Our marriage began to change beyond those boundaries, but also after some time, conversations felt so quick that I didn't know how to explain things to him. It was like he was always mentally planning his next workout while I was talking to him. He'd nod along, but I could tell his mind was somewhere else. Date nights became rare. If we did go out, he'd check the menu first, deciding if there were healthy options before agreeing to eat there, and if there weren't, he'd suggest skipping it altogether. The intimacy between us was great, but I wanted to spend hours in his arms talking after our intimate moments, and he couldn't do that. He prioritized quality sleep. It seemed as though he stored his entire attention within the gym facility instead of paying attention to me. His fitness surpassed every other thing in his life, which meant I was no longer the top priority. I wasn't insecure about it at first. Adam was a loyal guy. He wasn't the type to flirt with other women or cheat. But as the months passed, I started wondering where I fit in his life. It felt like I was just there like a roommate he shared a house with instead of a wife. I made the worst decision of my existence at that moment, although at that time, it didn't feel like I was making one of the worst decisions ever in my life. I remember that day clearly. I had just come home from a meeting with my sister who kept telling me that sometimes you make the extra effort to make marriage or relationship last. I saw Adam seated at the dining table having a plate of salad with his phone in one hand. He was watching some workout videos as he ate. He didn't even notice me coming in, and only gave me a slight nod when I said hello to him. I was going to walk to the room, but I stomped my way to him and slammed my hand on the table. That got his attention for sure. He looked at me and asked what was wrong. The next words that came out of my mouth were shocking even to me. I asked him how much it would cost to join his gym. Adam was even more shocked by my sudden question. He asked me if any of my friends wanted to register, that he could give them a discount because they were my friends. My ego was bruised by this statement. I told him that I was the one who wanted to register. He was even more shocked. He asked me where this was coming from, and I told him that I just had an epiphany, that there were things I wanted to achieve and I couldn't achieve them unless I hit the gym. I knew he was sourcing for specifics, but I didn't let him ask any other questions. I asked him if I could register or not, and he told me that I could, and that it was free for me. I chuckled and shook my head. I told him that I needed to pay, because I'll take it a lot more seriously if I paid for the gym sessions with my own money. He smiled at me and said, "Okay." Then I went to the room. I don't know what I was expecting when I decided to join Adam's gym. Maybe I thought it would bring us closer. Maybe I just wanted to feel like a bigger part of his world. Or maybe deep down, I just wanted him to give more time to me than he did to his work. I decided to join despite the reason. And Adam? He was thrilled and proud. From the very first day I began working out at the gym, I received constant support from Adam even though fitness always felt pointless to me. He fully supported my decision to get in shape after I shared my serious intention to work out. Adam wasn't the one who provided my personal training and was very disappointed with that. I expected him to be my personal trainer, but that didn't work out the way I wanted it. And the sad thing was that I couldn't show how disappointed I was, because then it would look as though I had the wrong intentions for joining the gym. But everything Adam did, he was doing from a place of love and support. He set me up with his best trainer, a guy named Ryan, and he would occasionally come when we were working out to watch me or offer input. My personal trainer, Ryan, was tall and as fit as a biblical giant. He has the physical ability of a tiger and prioritized keeping himself in excellent condition all the time. His energetic personality drew people toward him. Adam possessed the same energy and attributes, and they were what attracted me to him during our initial meeting. As my personal fitness trainer, Ryan would have to hold me in a particular position and raise my legs into a particular posture, or help me bend into a needed shape. The point is, he was handsy. And at first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, he was just doing his job, right? Helping me with my form, adjusting my posture, correcting my movements. It was normal. But after a few sessions, I started noticing the way he acted around me. He wasn't just training me, he was flirting. It was subtle at first. A small joke here, a casual compliment there, but then it escalated. Whenever he instructed me on squats, he would place his hand on my lower back longer than necessary. He gave instructions with a hushed tone that sounded sensuous, although he was speaking loudly. I caught him glancing at me in the mirror by chance, while he thought I was unaware. I ignored it. I dismissed the behavior since any trainer would conduct this type of action according to my reasoning. But deep down, I liked it. I liked the attention. I liked feeling not just noticed, but watched like I was the center of someone's entire existence. I was being stupid and naughty because I enjoyed that someone, other than my husband, found me attractive. It made me feel desirable. My body started changing. I became both stronger and leaner at the same time while developing greater confidence in myself. Working out became something I truly loved because I caught myself growing more determined to push my limits. I carried a specific feeling that distinguished me from others no matter where I went. I stood in front of the mirror to snap hot selfies using my mobile phone. Adam saw me taking the pictures and he just smiled. It was like he was happy for me being happy with myself. I think I forgot to mention, my husband Adam is one of the most observant people I have ever met. He could walk into a room for the first time, barely spend 3 minutes there, and when he comes back, he'd know if something changed, no matter how slight or little. And he had this thing where he liked looking at me. Sometimes he might be working and he'd just take one glance at me and he wouldn't look away or blink for minutes. I knew he loved me and admired me. He didn't even care that I didn't work out. But now that I did, I think he was more intrigued by me. I was just an unsatisfied and annoying little witch. Adam's work didn't stop him from looking at me. He would just watch me exercise and smile. He always had a proud smile on his face when I did something I hadn't been able to do, or when I reached a time or count of exercises I hadn't been able to reach. And when I flexed my glutes and body fitness in the mirror, I'd catch him smiling at me, although he remained silent while watching me. And over time, those stares of admiration soon turned to observations. Because he noticed how my dressing habits changed, especially when coming to the gym. He noticed how I became increasingly motivated to exercise, and he would occasionally give me compliments of how good I looked or smelt, or even challenged me on who would be ready to get to the gym first. I mostly lost, but sometimes I'd wake up even before him, and he was always shocked and impressed. I knew the kind of husband I had. He saw everything. He knew everything. And he loved me like the earth loves gravity. I should have stopped. I should have recognized the warning signs, but I didn't. Because honestly, I didn't want to. I wish I could say it was some big, dramatic moment, but the truth is, it happened so casually. I guess it's because the tension between Ryan and I had been boiling like a pound of meat in a pot, and that particular evening, it was done and ready to be served. During my workout, I had already completed my scheduled training before Ryan offered to stay for additional form practice. The suggestion wasn't his first attempt, and I didn't give it any serious thought. At least that's what I told myself. The gym hall soon got empty, and only front staff remained, yet both of us remained in the distance area sitting alone together. The room felt tense with a combination of low music and dimmed lights. He turned off some of the lights, telling me that it would help me relax, but it only built the tension between us. Things had become more intense in that moment, although it was not something fresh. He stood behind me, fixing my posture. His hands were firm on my waist, guiding me through a movement I had done 1,000 times before. His voice was quite attractive at that time. I was thinking that I should have stepped away. I should have laughed it off, but I didn't. I let it happen very easily. The situation began with momentary hand contact followed by his breath on my neck during a brief statement that I couldn't understand. I shrugged it off. Didn't think much of it. Just part of the workout, right? This was my internal explanation of the situation. And then before I knew it, it happened. It wasn't planned. The decision to make the mistake took me by surprise because I had not prepared for it. It just happened. A single second of weakness led me to cross a boundary after which life became unretrievable. We got down on that floor and did things that could not be undone. We held nothing back. Our intimacy was ravenous. But then afterwards, as I sat in my car in the parking lot, staring at my own reflection in the rearview mirror, it hit me again. This time, it felt disgusting. My hands shook because of excitement and my heartbeat raced as I gripped the steering wheel. I had committed an action which would stay forever in the past. When I got home, Adam was already asleep. He had no idea. He had no reason to suspect anything. But I knew. As I lay next to him in bed, I felt the heat from his body while listening to his calming breaths. I became aware of something that twisted my entire stomach. I wasn't even sure if I regretted it. It didn't stop at that one night. I convinced myself this was a mistake which would never repeat itself. When I saw Ryan the next day for our exercise, he touched my back and smiled as if sharing something unseen between us. I caved. What was just gym sessions, lingering touches, stolen glances, whispers that made my stomach flip had now become more. I started staying later, finding excuses to work out when I didn't need to. I suddenly cared about which leggings made my body look best, how my hair looked before going to the gym, and I started checking my phone more than ever, waiting for Ryan's messages. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't stop. A new feeling assailed me because I had genuinely wanted to experience this for the very first time in many years. Ryan made me feel desirable. Through his attention, he helped me realize I was more than just a wife. Adam fixed me with the same glance he used to give me back when we started our relationship, but things started getting complicated. Adam noticed. It wasn't one thing that tipped him off. It was everything. I was at the gym longer than usual. I was suddenly so invested in my appearance. My phone was always in my hand, always on silent, and I always tilted the screen away from him. I barely looked at him when I walked in the door. His initial remarks remained gentle, yet direct. His comments about my gym time remained innocent without accusations as he poked at my workout commitment. I ignored his insecurities while pretending he had no basis for them. But what broke the camel's back was when Ryan was helping me with my posture. I was squatting, and he was behind me very closely. He squatted with me, our bodies touching each other. We were alone that evening because the gym had closed and we were still there. Ryan rubbed his hands up my thighs and did things that he shouldn't. I enjoyed them. It was like killing two birds with one stone, pleasure and workout. The next morning, when I went to the gym, I wasn't allowed in. I was told that I didn't have a membership with the gym anymore. I was livid. Turns out Adam canceled my gym membership. Just like that. No warning. No discussion. I went home and met Adam. He was asleep when I left the house. I threw a fit, asking why he canceled my membership. I stated that I used my money to pay for it. He told me the money had been refunded to my account, and I was no longer allowed to work out at his gym. I was angry and shouted at him, and that was when he raised his voice at me. He asked me if I thought he was stupid. Adam wasn't just suspicious. He already knew. He claimed he saw Ryan and I the previous day. He wanted to come pick me up, but what he saw blew him away. Surprisingly, I never knew when Adam's suspicions of me began, although I knew he had been watching me at the gym. But that was just an admiration. His nature was to avoid rapid judgment. Through observation, Adam discovered the things he needed to know because he had both patience and insight. I tried to explain that it was nothing. He laughed and told me that he knew everything. He knew that I hooked up with Ryan regularly, and that was when I realized that I had been very careless. Adam didn't need to argue with me or accuse me of anything. He had proof. He told me that I was so in a hurry to get to the gym that I didn't even bother looking for my phone. He showed me the phone in his hand, and my heart dropped. He didn't yell. He didn't throw away my phone or demand an explanation. He just stood there, scrolling, reading, confirming what he already knew. Every text, every gym selfie, every flirty message with Ryan was right there in his hand. All the things I thought were private. All the secrets I thought I could keep exposed in the quietest, most devastating way possible. The tightness in my throat combined with a pounding heartbeat made it difficult for me to think clearly. I wanted to say anything, but no appropriate words came to mind. Sorry? It wasn't enough. Deny it? It was pointless. Beg? He refused to grant opportunities for forgiveness. Adam didn't ask me a single question. He didn't accuse me, didn't demand details, didn't ask for explanations. He just put my phone down, walked over to the closet, and started packing his bags. That was it. No dramatic confrontation, no shouting match, no long, drawn-out argument. Just quiet, controlled movements as he folded his clothes and took only what he needed. I watched him, completely numb. My inner voice demanded action by holding onto his arm while dropping down to pray with tears and shouting while trying to stop him from leaving. But my body wouldn't move. The man I had built a life with walked out while I stood motionless in shock. He didn't slam the door. He didn't even look at me. He just walked out, suitcase in hand, without a word. And just like that, he was gone. A snap out of my surprised state emerged only when I heard his car leaving the driveway. The house entered into a new mood that felt empty and cold immediately after he drove away. The full realization of what had occurred hit me at that moment. I had lost him. The departure occurred without the messy confrontation which would have allowed me to fight back. I completely lost him. I checked my phone as if hoping there was still some way out of this, but there was nothing. Just a long trail of messages with Ryan that now felt disgusting to look at. The thrill, the excitement, the attention, it all meant nothing now. Because Adam was gone. I sat on the bed facing the empty spot while remembering how he trusted me when he used to sleep there for many years. And now, I was alone. For the first time since this all started, I didn't feel powerful or desired. I didn't feel attractive or confident. I just felt empty. Update. Hi guys. I'm here to update you guys. Since Adam left our house 6 months ago, I have come to talk about his departure. During the last 6 months, I observed him quietly pack his belongings before he vanished without any explanation from my life. The 6 months have provided me with nothing but endless time to reflect on all my mistakes. At first, I thought I could fix it. I called, texted, emailed anything to get him to respond. I even showed up at his office once, but he had already told the receptionist not to let me in. He wasn't playing games. He wanted nothing to do with me. I received the divorce documents much sooner than I had anticipated. A simple break happened without arguments or extended talks and resulted in a quick dissolution. Publicly, I hoped that the divorce process would bring upset and conflicts as well as retaliation from my ex-husband. But Adam? He just walked away. That's what hurt the most. That and the silence. No second chances. No closure. Just gone. Upon losing my husband, I became devoid of every aspect of my previous life. I lost everything. Instantly, all the security as well as the identity I had constructed disappeared from my life. Throughout many years, I had firmly believed I was in charge of selecting my own paths and making my own decisions about my desires. But now, I realized I was delusional. And as for Ryan, that was the biggest slap in the face. Turns out I wasn't the only special client he had. Whatever I thought we had meant nothing. Once Adam was out of the picture, Ryan barely even looked at me. He had moved on like I was just another gym member, just another name in his long list of women who fell for the act. Looking back, I don't even know what I was chasing. Attention? Excitement? Feeling wanted? I threw away my entire marriage for what? A man who never even cared? A temporary high that left me feeling emptier than ever. The house feels different now. Adam and I lived there for years, but without him, it feels lifeless. I walked past the couch where we used to sit together, the bed where we used to sleep side by side, the kitchen where he used to prepare meals while I scrolled on my phone, not realizing that one day I'd be sitting alone, eating takeout, wishing I could go back in time. I used to think I wanted freedom, that I wanted to feel independent, like my life wasn't just about being someone's wife. Now I'd give anything to have my husband back, but it's too late, and I have no one to blame but myself. If I could go back and change one thing, I would. But life doesn't work that way. There are no do-overs, no second chances when it comes to breaking someone's trust. I made my choices, and now I have to live with them. I used to think I was in control, that I could have everything. A stable marriage, excitement, attention, and no consequences. But the truth is, I was selfish. I wasn't thinking about the damage I was causing until it was too late. I took my husband for granted, and when he walked away, he took everything with him. His love, his loyalty, and the life we built together. And honestly, I deserve it. I don't expect sympathy. I don't expect forgiveness. The only thing I can do now is accept what happened and move forward. But moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It means knowing that I made a choice that cost me everything, and no amount of regret will ever change that. So, if you're watching this and thinking about making the same mistake, don't. Because when it's all over, and you're left alone with nothing but regret, it's not worth it.